Happy Friday. It's October 24th, 2025. So we've got 10 for October plus 24, which gives us 34, plus 9 for 2025, which gives us 43. And then 4 plus 3 equals 7. So if we look at the numbers individually, number 10 is about mastery. So this entire month is about mastery. So this month focuses on what you know about the entire process from beginning to end. The key to this month is remembering that when you're starting over, you're not starting over from scratch, but you're starting over with experience. So 10 for the month of October, and today is the 24th. 24 is a number that indicates shared power, shared control, compassion, or shared passion as well. So when we combine the energies of 10 plus 24, knowing that you've done this before, so this isn't your first rodeo, and also combine it with shared passion, shared power, shared control, all of those things, it's a collaboration energy. So it's focusing on the synergies that you receive in collaboration. So now when we add the energy of 9 that we get from 2025, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5, we get 43. 34 plus 9 gives us 43. So we're going from 34 to 43, and we see that there's a reverse there. 34 is a number that indicates optimism. But 43, you have to have that energy of optimism first to motivate you to get to the point where you have a solid foundation to build those things that you are so optimistic about. So I'm feeling an energy today of finishing touches, polish, finesse. And 24 brings in this concept of decision-making that takes the partnership into consideration, because I'm feeling an energy of, so along with the collaboration energy that I'm feeling today, there's also an energy here of taking a shared risk, that a shared risk is going to be necessary in this collaboration. So of course, before you take this risk, you want to do an analysis. You want to assess what your strengths are or your weaknesses, also any opportunities out there and any potential threats as well. With this 24 energy here, along with that shared power, it means that you're also sharing risk here. So it's important that you do that assessment together. So also when I read October 24th, 2025 from left to right, I'm seeing 102422025. So in that number string, I'm seeing a 24 and also a 42. A 24 and a 42, sharing the number 4 as a hinge. So the number 4 would be that shared control, that shared power. But when we look at the 2s on either side of the 4, we could put those together in our imagination as a 22, which is the master builder number. What you're sharing is that you're building something together. And as you're building something together, it means that you're going to be sharing. You're sharing the passion, you're sharing the motivation, and you're going to be sharing the control, sharing the power. 42 shows the results of a successful 24 energy. So it shows how that 24 energy works. It provides checks and balances. It provides a contrast. And also it makes sure that everything's in agreement and that the controls are in place that ensure that everything stays balanced. So next, I'm seeing the number 20 as the beginning of 2025. And the number 20 indicates integrity in decision making, knowing that you didn't just jump to a decision, but there was a reconciliation there between your emotions and your intuition before you arrived at that. So knowing that there was a process there and knowing that there was a reconciliation there, it's important that you follow through on it, because that follow through is going to provide you more insights. And those insights that you receive, you're going to want to write them down, meditate on them. And as you're moving forward and following through and receiving these insights, you can use them to make any minor adjustments if you feel the need. Along with this 20 energy that indicates integrity and decision making, it's so important to have a plan. It's important even when you're working alone, but it's even more important when you're working as a team, when there's a collaboration. There needs to be a plan, and it needs to be well communicated. There needs to be an open dialogue to make sure that things are mutually understood. So as I'm looking at my Pythagorean grid for today, it looks like this. So we'll go ahead and draw a new one, and I'll try my best to draw it from here. Okay. All right. So we've got 10, so that's going to go here. Put the little 0 there. And we've got 1, 2, 3 2s. So let's put those here. And right here, I see a 0 behind that 2. We don't have a space in the Pythagorean grid all by itself for a 0 all by itself. So I'm just going to stick it next to whatever number it's next to. So the second 2 has a 0 behind it. So I'll put it there like that. Doing it that way, it indicates some more subtle energies there. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So also we have 1, 4 here. So I'm going to put that there. And we have a 5 here. And I'm going to put that there. All right. So now let's look at our sums. We know that this date, if we sum the 10 to 1 and sum the 24 to 6, and then sum 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 to 9, we have 1, 6, and 9. So when we add those together, we end up with 16 here. And 16 sums down to 7. So that final number, the 7, I'm going to put that in here. 7 would go here. But since this 7 is something that we arrive at when we add these numbers, and it's not something just already in the date, when I add it there, I'm going to put a circle around it to show that this number was derived from 1 plus 6 plus 9 equals 16 equals 7. Also, we notice that 7 completes an arrow here, the arrow of practicality. So I'm going to draw a line through it to indicate the arrow of practicality there. Now, what else do we need here? Whenever we have 2 of the 3 numbers there, it means that we only need 1 quality to complete the arrow. So that would be our challenge, our assignment. So we've got 10 and we've got 3 2s here. To complete the arrow of the planner, we need 3. So I'm going to put that there and put a circle, and I'm going to draw a line going through it to show there's an arrow of the planner that we would have once we complete this challenge of actually following through and creating. That's what this 3 stands for, following through and creating. In order to complete that arrow of practicality, we need that 7 energy. 7 indicates doing all the background research that you need to do before moving forward. There might be some things that you don't readily see, that you need to do a little bit of digging first. Also, in order to complete the arrow of emotional balance, we would need to have an 8 there. So I'm going to put a circle around it and draw a line there. 8 deals with fine-tuning and gathering your resources. A lot of times when I see an 8, it indicates that I'm doing a list of pros and cons. Also here, in order to complete the arrow of the will, we have a 6 here. So the number 6 deals with sharing. It deals with communication and collaboration. It deals with the mutual satisfaction here. I'm thinking about meetings here. Also, the arrow of activity. In order to complete the arrow of activity here, we would need a 9. So I'm going to put a circle here and draw a line to complete the arrow of activity there. That 9 energy deals with considering the greater good, or what does this plan or this project or this collaboration bring to the collective? What benefit does it bring to the greater good? About today's grid is that by the time we fill in the grid and we accept the challenges here that are indicated by the empty spaces in the grid, it fills in the whole grid. What that's indicating to me is that as you're moving through and you notice little things, little insights when you're following through with the plan, communicating your findings with the team or with your partner, and then agreeing to make the little fine changes that add quality and efficiency and productivity. There's so many things that I'm seeing in this grid here. So that 5 deals with that shared risk that we have here. And we talked about the 3 that deals with creation, creativity, originality. For some reason, one of the things that I'm thinking about right now, your value proposition. I'm feeling a lot about value proposition in today's numerology. And thinking about value proposition, what is it about your product or your service, or even the energy that you bring personally, or the energy that your team brings, or each key person in your team that they bring, that makes your product, your service, your team, your enterprise stand out from everything else that's out there? Because moving forward in this higher frequency, it's going to be about value. It's not about who's the cheapest anymore. It's about value. We're not extracting quality out of a product so that we can get a wider profit margin anymore. That doesn't work in a higher frequency. In this higher frequency, it's about adding value. What does your human touch add to the product or service? So this 24 energy of today about shared power, shared control. The combination of this 10 energy for October and the 24 energy for the day adds up to 34. So there's an optimism. There's a reason to be optimistic, because not only are you not starting from scratch, but you're starting over from experience. So also with this 24 energy, when you combine that 10 mastery energy with the 24 energy of shared power, shared control, along with that, knowing that you're sharing risk together, there's an optimism there, working towards the same goal. So as you're moving forward today, when I look deeper in the numbers and I see the 202 here at the beginning of 2025, there's that breakthrough energy again. We have a strong breakthrough energy. This year is full of breakthrough energy, but especially in a 10 month, this month of October, that breakthrough energy is amplified because we have the energy of mastery that governs the month. Today, the whole collective is going to be receiving some information that's going to push things forward. So looking over today's energy, right now is the time to get yourself oriented. imagining where you want to be and solidifying those patterns that are going to get you there. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.